Good CrafterNoon, everyone. It's snowing in the makerspace. So guess what our craft of the day is? That's right, a giant paper snowflake. Perfect activity for a snow day. So let's get started on today's giant snowflake. For today's giant snowflake project, we need a few basic office supplies. 6 pieces of paper, and I am using just white copy paper. If you have colored craft paper, that works as well. You'll also need double-sided tape, or you could just use a stapler. You will also need a scissors or a paper cutter. Since I have a paper cutter, that's what I'm going to be using today. There is another way to get a square out of a rectangle. You take your 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, fold it into a triangle, and crease. You can then cut along this edge and you will get your square. I am going to use the paper cutter because I can't cut straight if my life depended on it. And I'm going to measure out, since this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, I'm going to be measuring out to get a square to 8.5. And ta-da! A square piece of paper. And I'm going to need, so we do need 6 pieces of paper for this project. So 3 more. Once again, measuring out to 8.5 and cutting the paper. Perfect. Let's get this other stuff out of the way so we have lots of room to work. First step to make our paper snowflakes is we are going to fold the paper into a triangle and crease it and fold it again into a triangle and add another crease. Like so. Hold your paper in your hand with the folded edge over here, the long edge on the bottom. And we're going to make 3 cuts along this open edge. Space them about a 1/2 inch apart. Cut close to the folded edge, but don't cut all the way through or your snowflake will fall apart. And you can measure it if you want. I am just eyeballing it. Once we have the cut made, we're going to fold it open and it should look like this. So let's do that one more time. Or actually, you're going to do it 6 more times, but I'm going to show you one more time because I already have some pre-folded. Fold it into a triangle, fold it over again into a triangle, crease, put the crease facing away from you, the open side towards you, and make 3 cuts. Small one, bigger one, and the biggest one of all. Okay? I'm going to fast forward ahead and finish cutting the rest of my snowflakes. Now that we have all of our 6 parts of our snowflake cut, we need to open them up. You can do that one at a time. And now you can either use a stapler or double-sided tape. The first cut that we made, the small cut, right here, we're going to add a piece of double-sided tape here, and then fold over so the 2 pieces of paper overlap, like that. I'm going to turn the paper over Add another piece of double-sided tape right there and fold this half over so that they overlap. Turn it over again and repeat that process. Double-sided tape there, fold it over, and the last cut piece fold it over, and the first part of your snowflake should look like this. Now this is a lovely decoration in and of itself, but it's not quite a snowflake. So we will continue on folding. I'm going to show you one more time here. Take your middle section, add a piece of tape to one side of it, and fold the other side over on top. Like so. Turn it over. More tape. Tape. Okay, flip it over again. Tape. And overlap the two sections. And one more time. And you have your next section. Repeat this process with the remaining sections of your snowflake. Now that we have all of the 6 sides of our snowflake together, or folded and taped in place, it's time to assemble our project. So you will take the ends, or the tips, and I do 3 at a time just because that's what I do. And we're going to staple them together so that you have half a snowflake. Take the remaining 3 pieces, line them up at one end of the tip here, staple together, and finally staple these 2 sections together in the middle. Okay, not quite done yet. We got a floppy little snowflake. The last step is to take where these 2 last folds were, line them up, and again staple together. Going to go all the way around and attach them in the middle so that your snowflake doesn't fall apart and keeps its shape. If you had a littler stapler, this might be a little bit easier, but use what you have. And one last staple. Oh, actually, I fibbed. One last staple. And ta-da! There is your fully assembled giant snowflake. To hang these from the ceiling or your door, you can simply put a hole punch in the end of one of these tips here, string it with a fishing line or regular string or yarn, and hang it up. When it's snowing outside, we've got snow inside as well. So thanks for joining me today, everyone. Have a great CrafterNoon.